All right, everybody, welcome to the ATB Love Debate, where I give the topic and the participants share their opinions. Good or bad, who knows, but we damn sure are going to find out. Without further ado, let's get this debate started. On today's show, we've got Mr. Kevin McCullough. Say hi, Kevin.
Hey, everybody.
We got Mara Lynn. How's it going?
Hey.
Mr. Chris Martin.
What's up?
Andrea Hook in the house.
Hello.
April Fraley.
Hi.
Mr. Leo Kishore.
Happy to be here.
You look like it, Leo. Glad you're here, brother. Miss Shannon Simmons.
Hey, how's it going?
And Mr. Matthew Novak.
What's going on?
All right. So this is how this works. I'm going to ask the questions, and these participants are going to debate and give their opinions on the topic. Into dating and relationships. So here we go. Our first question. We're going to start off with Mara.
Oh, yay.
Do looks matter in a relationship? You got 2 minutes.
I would say at first they matter. I mean, you have to be physically attracted to them. But then once you get to know them, it doesn't matter as much. But I guess, yeah, looks matter to me.
Looks matter to you?
Yes.
How about you, Chris?
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, at first, even though I know we're all getting older and pretty fades,
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. You're going to be attracted to a boob or an ass, or vice versa.
All right, fair enough. All right, Hook. I see you got that wine in your hand, so let's go ahead and get you before you start getting too twisted. Yeah, you got what you got going on.
People in my backyard. My neighbors are coming over to use the jacuzzi.
I know where you're going to be in like 10 minutes.
Oh, do looks matter? They matter some. I don't care for a six-pack ab anymore. I also just want to make sure that their guts, you know, I have the standard that you have to be able to see your goods over your gut.
You can say it. You
do.
got to be able to see your dick. All right, we got it.
I don't want to say I lowered my standards. It just changed. Like, it doesn't really matter that much to me anymore.
Guys with a little bit of belly, we're cuddly bastards. We can't help it.
I mean, it's fine.
Okay, what do you think, Kevin?
I'm going to say yes, but, you know, somebody's personality could make them more attractive, right? Because you get to know them, like the other lady said. But initially, you sort of need that chemistry and that physical attraction. But again, you know, having the personality, cuteness, things like that, something unique, then yeah.
Gotcha. I like that answer. I'm going to give you a point, Kevin. Ding, ding. All right. Point. How about you, April?
So yes, I think that looks matter as well, but I'm kind of like Kevin is in that I totally think that you can find someone attractive that they may not have like all of the physical features that you have in this ideal world, but if they have a really great personality and extra things to add into it, that makes them so much more attractive to me.
Okay. I kind of like your answer, too. I'll put you on the board, too. Yeah. All right. What do you think, Leo? Do looks matter to you?
They absolutely matter, but they're not the only thing that matters is what everybody's saying, and I totally agree with. And I don't necessarily find what, you know, Hollywood finds attractive, you know? Like there are certain things that I find attractive that just get me going that I think a lot of people wouldn't find attractive. But that's what I find attractive, you know? So, yeah, and in addition to that, personality can absolutely take away from, you know, whether or not I want to be with a person and so forth. So looks matter. They're not the only thing that matter.
Shannon, what say you?
I mean, as the last person to talk, I sort of agree with everyone else. I think it's more of an individual chemistry that you feel with someone, not so much as looks, as more, oh, I feel a spark, and then you go from there. And then if the connection is authentic, then it's a go.
Okay. You're not the last one. Matthew, what you got?
So looks are definitely going to catch my eye. I mean, obviously, you're not just gonna like pick nobody out of a crowd. So I mean, you can build a bond, you can build a relationship with somebody through communication, conversation. I actually met my first ex-wife online. All I had was a picture that she sent me, through an email. So for 9 months, that was who I courted, on the premise that that's who she said she was. But when you go out and you meet people and go to a bar, initial attraction is what's going to draw you to talk to somebody. So yes, looks are important in that regard. But it's going to take so much more to maintain, like the chemistry and the personality and the quirks and the different things that really draw you in.
Well, this is an open topic right here. Let me ask you all this. So if you're on a dating app and it's just bios, there's no pictures, how hard would that be for you to choose someone?
That would not be hard at all.
So Hook,
I would totally go for somebody with a great bio that was funny, and I would meet them right away, even if the looks were not, right off the bat. Sometimes if the chemistry was there, I'll take it. I'll take it in a heartbeat.
What if you showed up to the date with Mr. Hot Bio and he looked like Oscar the Grouch or something? He looked like he jumped out of a garbage truck. Then what would you do?
Damn.
I would probably have a drink, and at that point, I would just kind of go with it. I wouldn't actually take him seriously. Like, that's something that he probably has some issues, some self-esteem issues I don't really want to have to deal with. But I'll just go with it for now. I'm there. I got dressed up. I was ready. Let's meet, and we'll move forward. The hiding behind something else like catfishing, it's not for me.
So you would power through and get the date over with and never contact them again?
It wouldn't even be power through. It'd be almost like laughing at it because, I mean, you're busted. Obviously, this is not you.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, but to what you just said, though, a little bit, like, yeah, I'm attracted to some personality or something like that. But, if we're going to go home and try to finish the deal or whatever, I can't finish if I'm not attracted to someone. So I don't even know why I'm going to start this.
Oh, my God.
Your friend.
Real.
Leo.
I went for the kill. Bam.
Get real.
So have you ever been in?
Who can finish with someone they're not attracted to?
Oh, no.
Nope.
Nope.
You mean once sex is started, who can finish? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Why even start if you're just gonna be like two minutes into it, like, hey man, I don't want to do this.
I can force myself to
Put yourself
finish.
in the bed. I would never get that far.
If I get to the sex part, I can make myself finish.
Yeah, I don't. For me personally, like, it does have to be right. Like, I have to be mentally with them, and I have to be physically with them, or else I don't even want to be there.
But now I can't even get to the sex part if there's not some kind of, this is weird because I know I said tits and ass, but if my brain's not connected with a girl, I can't even get to sex.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think both elements have to be there.
Right, but that being said, I mean, you show up on a date. Personally, for me, I know in 5 minutes if there's chemistry. And I hate to say that, but I think it's a waste of time to move forward. The other thing is, somebody may not be the best looking, or their pictures aren't the same, but their personality is so awesome, and you have a good time with them that you connect that way. So it's really hard to know. But for me, it's about 5 minutes, and I think I know whether there's a romantic sort of connection.
I think that's the danger of dating apps, though, because if you go on the dating apps and you think someone's physically attractive and you swipe and then you match, but then you're like, oh, there's actually no connection and no chemistry. I just feel like I don't even enjoy dating apps anymore for that reason, because I'm like, there's so many people that maybe viscerally I don't find attractive and I'm not swiping on, but in person we could probably get along and there might be a really good chemistry. So I just don't think, it's just kind of hit or miss, and I don't depend on those algorithms to really like provide me with what I think could be a connection.
Good answer. Well, okay. Well, my personal opinion on it is I'm sort of kind of like Leo and Kevin, actually. I can tell in the first 5 minutes for me. And I would never get to the date anyway unless I find that person attractive. So I never get that far to find out if they have a good personality or not. It's always what they look like. Are they attractive? Can I get past that? Can I wake up in the morning and look at this person and say, wow, you're still beautiful? Sounds awful. That's just my opinion. All right, so
You're honest.
yeah,
That's true. That's absolutely true.
yeah. And I'm sure there's people out there I'm not attracted to that have the greatest personalities in the world. And I call those people friends. Yes.
Yes.
There's
All right,
nothing
let's
scarier than
move
going
on
to
to
sleep
the
with one thing
next
and
topic.
waking up with another.
The next topic. Would you marry someone much younger than you?
No.
We are going to start off with Leo.
Hey, how much?
Let's
Yeah.
just say 20. 15 to 20 years younger.
Fuck
Fuck
no.
no.
Fuck no, man. We can't talk about when MTV came out. I ain't got shit for you.
Well, first off, what's 15 years younger than you?
29.
29.
No, hell no. Hell no on 29.
Oh, ugh.
You know, like I
God, I'm
travel
old.
I travel and play music, right? So like there's a number of mid 20-year-olds that want to have conversations, and honestly, I just duck the fuck out.
All right.
You know,
Well,
it's like just be polite and then just go somewhere else where I can have like a normal conversation with people my age. Yeah, I can't do
I
that.
think it's a hard no from Leo. Leo's a hard no on this one.
I mean, like a stiff no.
So, Shannon, you're probably the youngest one on the panel. Okay. So 15 to 20 years young for you is in the teen years. So, so we're going to disqualify. We're going to make it 10 years for you. We'll say 10 years younger.
All right. Well, I'm 33, so for me, someone 10 years younger would be 23, and I probably didn't do that. I think for me, the youngest, and this is through experience, that I would engage with is 27. I couldn't go more than 5 years younger.
All right, let's flip the script on you then. Let's say 15 to 20 years older.
You know, my last relationship was 13 years older, and I don't know. I don't really go by age, but I can tell you from that relationship, there was a big generational gap. There were certain things that we didn't understand about each other, and so I don't know. I probably wouldn't do it again. I'd probably look for 5 years younger, 5 years older.
Okay. Matthew. Not happening, huh?
Nah, I couldn't mess with a 24-year-old, man. I dated a 24-year-old when I was 28 or 29, and it was too much. Like, my daughter just turned 19 today, so that would be 5 years older than my daughter, and yeah, that would be she would be like, that'd be like dating my youngest older sister. Like, I'd bring her home to my family, and my sister'd be like, "Oh, we know the same stuff."
So that's a hard no. Hard no from Matt. Mara, how about you?
Yeah, 15 years is too much. But I've dated like a 10-year younger than me. And I was actually engaged in him with, what does it say, Shannon Simo?
You were engaged in him. Ooh.
Engaged to him. I was reading the screen.
Different ways.
I was reading the screen. I was engaged to a guy who was 10 years younger than me. And then you just worry about, like, when you're older, how it's going to be, because you're 10 years older. So when you're 60, they're only going to be 50. And it didn't work out, but.
So keyword, you were engaged. So was there something that happened, like as far as like compatibility and that generational gap that.
Yeah, I don't want to tell that story on here because you would have to bleep it out, but
Ooh,
yeah.
Fair enough.
we might need an after hours one.
Right, there we go.
Oh, well, this could be an after hours one. All right, Chris, how about you?
Well, actually, I'm in a unique position of I did the 11 years younger than me right after I split from my wife. And of course, it was great for a 43-year-old man to be doing really nasty shit with a 32-year-old. They didn't get near marriage, but I'm kind of with Shannon because there was a generational difference there. Like, very smart girl, great career, beautiful, but we just missed on some things mentally. And at the end of the day, I was like, I couldn't do it. And then she started talking about wanting a baby with me, and I was like, I'm out. I'm done.
No.
That's why I probably lowest for me. I don't care how pretty they are, maybe 38, but most likely it's going to be like 40, 41. But I can't go above 50 because it's a mind block for me, even at 46.
Fair enough. April, you look anxious to answer this one.
I would absolutely not date someone that is that much younger than me. There is such a, I don't know, like a stage of life difference. Like, I'm 40 and I've already had kids. I've been married once, and I do not want to have any more children. I don't want the big wedding again or any of those kinds of things. Don't even know if I want to get married again. And so I don't want to date someone that's not experienced any of those things. And if they're, 30, they may not have.
Right.
So.
And yeah, and like you were saying, most of them probably still want kids.
And I do not. So.
What's up, Kevin?
Well, I think I'm the oldest person in the group here. I'm 48. So I'm kind of in a different part of my life, I guess, but I have dated people that were 10 to 13 years younger. And I don't know. I don't know if it's fair to them, right? Because I'm going towards 50 and they're going towards 40 or whatever. So it's a different sort of stage of your life. I try to stay in shape and everything like that, but I don't really know. I don't use age as a discrimination factor, but depending on if they're married or they have kids or they want to have kids, I know I don't want to have any more kids. So there's a lot of factors involved, and it depends on the maturity level, to be perfectly honest. It's just a different mindset sometimes.
All right, Hook, what you got?
No, absolutely not. I can't hardly even date 5 years younger than me. If they want to have children, I'm out. Even you can't even say, oh, the 80s were the best with somebody 5 years younger than you. They don't get it. They think the 90s were the best. Our music tastes are completely different. No, absolutely not.
If I say Michael Jordan and they say who, it's not happening. If they say LeBron's the greatest basketball player, it's not happening. That's But so let me ask the panel this question. So women preferably like to date older men, and guys like to date younger women. What's up with that? And that's pretty much around the board. Why do guys in their 40s always want to get the early 30s? Why do the early 30 women always want to go for the guys in the 40s? That's like a running theme out there.
I think for the guys who've been like married before and some things were lacking, is hey, they're in their prime and they're fun. They're open to a lot of stuff. You're coming out of like Closeville to like the Wild Kingdom, and I think that's the attraction for guys. But again, I got to see it where now I know I'm like, oh hell no, I can't do that much younger because they're brain dead.
I think everyone in this panel is different from everyone I've ever talked to. Me personally, I like to date.
That deserves a shotgun.
Like I've dated someone 30. I've dated someone 28. I've also dated women my age, and the only thing with dating younger is it's like we were talking about. They're at a different stage of their lives than I am. Because I've already raised my kids, you know, I got a 20-year-old and a 16-year-old. I'm not trying to have more babies. And most younger women still want to have families and start. And I'm not changing diapers again. I'm sorry. I'm done.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Because look, let's be honest. Even when we have grandkids, we can give their stinky little asses back so that the kids can change them. We ain't got to do that no more.
But one thing I ask, are you willing to push me in a wheelchair? Because it's probably going to happen.
Well, I'll answer that question for everybody here. Ain't nobody on this panel gonna push my big ass in a wheelchair.
You're going to have one that's built like those four-wheeler. They got the four-wheeler tires on it. And
Yeah, we're gonna have the big ones with a motor.
I think a lot of the older guys, they've been out of a marriage. They were sold the American dream of, oh, we're going to do this, you know, two kids, you know, 2.5 kids and a dog. And it became very boring. And when you date someone younger, it's just fun. It's not for real. It's just fun. And we all know it. And we see that. And this is what's happening currently in like the 35 to 45 plus group, is that these people, the men, at least for on the women's side, have been in a marriage. They're getting out. They were bored. They're sowing their oats. And so now we have to kind of wait for them to be done sowing their oats. And I even talked to other women about it. Like, they will be done sowing their oats when they have to take a little blue pill. And then they're like, oh yeah, now I want to settle down. Oh, I bet you do. I bet you do. I bet you do want to settle down now. Yeah, we've been waiting for the last 10 to 15 years for you to settle down. And now, since you can't get it up, you want to settle down. Okay, got it. Check.
Why would they want to settle down when they can walk around with a permanent Flagstaff with a blue pill?
They
I mean,
could. Well, they
now
also the health problems also incur, and you know, they start having issues with it. Build on itself, and they don't want another a young woman to see that. They want someone closer to their age to be understanding and want to kind of like take care of them and be their partner. So then we wait now. Now we wait. Now we're stuck waiting till your shit can't get up and you're sick as a dog, and we'll take care of you. Here we are. We've been waiting.
Andrea, stop dating guys that are pushing rope. You know what? You feel a lot better.
Hey, Hook, this is what you need. More cowbell.
But I mean, I guess she's kind of right, but it's funny. I guess Shannon would be the only person who could like answer this. Like in the group all the time, I laugh when like the 32 or 33-year-old like reaches out to you and says, I can do this and I can do that for you. And I'm like, look, sister, you can't do a damn thing for me at your age. I've been there.
But you don't know. There's
I
some
do.
women in their 30s and early 30s that actually are old souls, and you know they'd surprise you.
I haven't met one yet. Even like I said, the one I dated, she had a phenomenal career, very smart. She would probably be the closest thing in that age. But like everything I've met since it's like 32 or 33 and wants to talk to you, I'm like, it's a hard pass. I'm sorry. You know, just think about it. When I'm 63 and you're 53, Andrea might be right. I might gotta go see the doctor and say I need one of them prescriptions, brother. And
it's not even that. You're hypertensive. You know, you have diabetes, and it just keeps building.
Don't put me there. But I'm just saying this. Yeah.
Health is a factor.
It is.
You have to like factor that in. Yeah.
You can't play with the young girls anymore. Now you're gonna have to go with the old. So get here.
Jen, you want to say something?
I was gonna say for me, like, and I can only talk to my experience, but like, you know, my last partner was 13 years older than me, so he's about to be 46, and it wasn't so much the age. You know, we met. It wasn't like I sought him out or he sought me out. We met through work, and there was a natural connection that formed. But it was more, and I think it was just a generational gap in that he was like, you know, he wanted to go to bed at 9 o'clock, and I was like, you know, are we listening to music here? We're going to have fun. Are we going to play a game? What are we going to do? You know, like, I was just like, I want to do all of these things. And he felt this pressure to like, you know, I guess perform in a lot of different ways that he wasn't comfortable with. But, you know, even that wasn't the issue. It was more, I was like, I'm okay with that. But I was like, I'm okay being independent, but he wasn't comfortable because in his, like the way he grew up, it was like, man and wife get married and we go to bed at the same time, we wake up at the same time, you know, we go to the gym, we go to the eat, and I was just like, well, I'm okay with if I can go have my friends, if I can have my independence, but he wasn't okay with me having my independence. So that was the major issue that I had.
Yeah, that sounds like that was just his personal preference, because
Yeah,
I
I'm
do
pretty sure
think-
that's
I'm
an
not
age
sure
independent thing.
yeah.
Yeah. I do think that with younger women dating older men, they're looking for chivalry. They're looking for chivalry, that it's not dead. They want someone that has a stable career. I mean, guys in their early 30s and late 20s, their career's like just starting.
Yeah.
They're riding the struggle bus. They're working like dogs. Like, it's not really focused on you. They're trying to get their career going. And you're like, hey, I'm over here. Like, what about me? Their attention's not focused on you anymore. So they go for the older guys and they're like, hey, I'm established. Chivalry's not dead. I appreciate you. And so that's kind of where that gap happens.
And I think that's really true, because I think, and I don't want to like stereotype, but I think women, like, I'm like, you know, I was at a place I was so ready to invest the effort that I felt needed to be in a relationship. And him being older and more established in his career and his life and knowing what he wants, he was like, yeah, I have that energy to give you in a relationship, because relationships take a lot of work and it's a lot of energy and it's time. And so that was there to a certain extent. And so people, you know, guys my age, it's, you know, they're like, oh, they're still trying to figure out their career and what they want to do, and they're busy and they're working like 10-hour days, and it's like, well, where's the effort, where's the relationship? So that was definitely an attraction.
And like guys like me, I'm 6 years away from retirement. Yes.
Sweet. Good. Dual incomes. Good. You can work
Pension
a
is
second
coming.
job after retirement. Yes.
April, you've been quiet. You got anything to add on this before we get moving?
I've been listening. Honestly, I can agree and relate, I guess, just because of family members and friends that I have in my life that have done some of this, where there is a woman that's the older woman and, you know, married someone that was way younger, or at least 10 years younger, and then someone that was a friend that married 10 years older. And I see the problems that they have and the issues that come up with the age difference. And yeah, it's
What's the issues, if you don't mind sharing? Like,
I don't I'm not going to name names or anything, so I guess that's a good thing. So the main issue is kind of like what Shannon, I think it was, said, where the older man is like, he's 10 years older and he's wanting to go to bed, and he's like sitting on the couch and he's falling asleep at like 7:00. He doesn't want to go to the gym anymore. He doesn't want to work out. They don't want to go out and do anything together because he's too tired. He can hardly hear now. Like, his health is in a different place. That his health is in a way different place.
got wheelchair ready. It's coming.
Right. And they're in two totally different places. She's very full of life and she wants to go and do things. And I think a part of her feels, I don't want to say held back, but like she just feels like she's not living, and she's just sitting there watching him sleep on the couch.
Oh, that's
So
Have you met me? I'm 46. I'm full of life. I don't go to bed till 1:00 in the morning. I get up at 5.
well,
Sounds like me since we started this pandemic crap. I'm up till 1 a.m. every morning. Sucks. Mara, you got
I'm not
anything
opening
there?
their damn beer with his.
I've only dated a guy 5 years older than me. So I don't like older guys. I'm different, I guess. I go for the younger guys.
You get them, girl. You get them.
I like that.
But I got it. This is the sound effect. Wow.
I've been there, done that.
Yeah, what is it? Cougar, Jaguar, Puma?
Oh yeah, there's an age range for that. I'm so
Yeah.
excited. I'm finally a cougar.
Somebody told me the other day they were a GILF.
A grandma.
Jill.
A gilf.
Oh my God.
All right. We kind of touched on this one earlier, but now let's just hit it head on. Online dating, is it good or bad?
Good.
Be all over the place. And I believe we are going to start with Shannon this time. Yes. Online dating, Shannon, what do you think? Good or bad?
I mean, I have lots of thoughts about it, and I think just like everything, there are pros and cons. I think it's great that, meeting people is so easy and so accessible. But, I think it definitely creates a culture of like, like everything's disposable. I feel like I'm in the middle of a millennial where I remember everything before technology. And when you had to meet people, it was like you met them in high school or you were like at work or something. And so there was that sense of like, it wasn't that easy to just, move on to the next best, to the next best thing. Like you had to work on it.
She said the next sex thing.
The next best thing. So what I'm finding now, and like recently I've been like dating younger men, like at 29, 30 years old. And there is that sense of like, oh, wait, that's way too hard. Wait, are you talking about emotions? Like, wait, no. Like, they're just like, okay, no. And they just ghost you. And it's just like, okay, well, it's so easy to go find someone else. Instead of realizing like, hey, relationships actually take effort and you have to work on them. And so I feel like I'm in this crossroads of like, yeah, it takes effort, but also it's really cool that, we can, meet people that we never thought we would meet before. So I don't know. I think it's all up to the individual and you have to have a lot of discernment.
I agree. I like the point you made about meeting people that you would never meet in your normal walk of life. That's a big plus right there. Novak, talk to me. Online dating.
Don't do it anymore.
I guess that's bad.
Yeah. I got tired of all the filtered pictures and the half-assed bios and group pics. I couldn't tell who I was swiping on. And then you swipe on somebody and then you wait for a match. And, I'm very selective. So when I swipe right on somebody, it's probably like 1 out of like 50. So I studied the bios. I looked through all the pictures. I examined everything from head to toe to make sure that this is a candidate that I want to take time out of my life with to go and see if there's an interest level with before I even swipe right. And the return on investment on time put into it it's next to nothing. I could sit there and swipe right on all of them and then hope for law of averages to kick in and maybe get a match back. I stay away from Tinder when I went back in. I've been off of them since I joined ATB, so it's been about 1.5 years now. And I joined Bumble and I paid like $8 just to try it. And I got a few matches on there, and I'd start talking with somebody, have a great conversation, and like maybe an hour after our conversation was done, their account was deleted. So like the only people that actually were having conversations through the app were like, I don't know, paid representatives or bots or something. And then I got on Hinge for a little bit, and there were some great quality women on there. It was a brand new app. It seems like, you went from Tinder, you go to Bumble, then you have Hinge, and then you have the next thing, and everybody flocks to the next thing, and you get good quality people find out about it first. And so you start filtering through there, and it was just like pulling teeth to get conversations. And I'm just like, you know what? If I'm going to meet somebody, I'm going to meet somebody at a venue, an event, a bar.
All right, Matt, got to cut you off, man. 2 minutes.
Oh, I love them. I use it. It's my tool. It's my vehicle. I just bring them in, do my screening process, move on. Swipe left, swipe right. Swipe left, swipe right. It's super fast. It's very efficient. I ask them, just a few screening questions. If I feel like meeting, great. If not, next. I'm sure that they're great.
Do you
I
read
do
bios?
every time. And actually, sometimes
Why? Before you match, what's the point?
Because I want to know if they have a sense of humor. A sense of humor and an iffy, attractive picture, I will definitely swipe right. Always. Iffy, attractive, I'm not sure, but the bio is super hilarious, right up my alley. My sense of humor is, right in line with them. Swipe right. I'll get you. I'll talk to you. We'll see what happens.
I'll reiterate on this after everybody else is gone. Leo,
I've like a lot of other things. I feel like it's just a tool. It is what you make of it. From what you just said, I read every bio. I kind of want to know who I'm going to get along with. And if they don't have a bio or it's just super short, I know it's going to be pulling teeth trying to talk to them. And I'm not about that shit either. I think there's some humbling experiences or things to learn about it. Like, an average guy like myself getting on, my response rate is going to be pretty minimal. One response out of every maybe 10 messages sent. And whereas I think ladies have it the opposite way. So, we both have our different problems or whatever. Yeah, pros cons. And it's just kind of weird. Like, I went to Amsterdam once and went to the red light district, and you got all these buildings where like just you got women in windows, and then sometimes they go out of the window and they're not available, and then you get a new girl in the window, and it's kind of crazy just seeing these profiles come in, come out.
That's a new damn meaning to window shopping.
I mean, I think I may have done that in my early 20s once.
It is absolutely window shopping, and then you put yourself in one of those windows. So, but once you get over all of that, then it's entertaining.
If you go during the off hours, you'll see midgets in those windows.
Stop.
Not even a lie.
Is that advice? Is that like?
That's what I need in my life. Somebody who comes up to my ankles.
Oh, Chris, let's take a trip and knock off a bucket list.
I'll do it just for the pictures.
I'll take the fucking pictures.
I'm all about the experience. I'll do anything once. Well, just about everything. All right, Mara, what do you think about online dating?
I'm not a fan. I recently did the Tinder because I don't know who in the socials group told me that you could talk to guys overseas. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, talking to other guys from other countries. But what I run into is I have to tell them each and every one of them about my day. And that just gets overwhelming. And it's just very overwhelming. You got tons of people trying to talk to you. It's not the way that I like to connect.
Okay. Chris.
It depends on the day of the week, man. I
Yes.
have to agree with Hook. I do read the bios just to, does she have a sense of humor? If I see anybody talk about any kind of politics, whether it be Democrat, Republican, I'm like, fuck no, we can't do nothing, because all I want to do is I want to have a good time. I want to get to know you. I don't give a shit about your politics, because at the end of the day, if you're going to click, you're going to click whether you are or you ain't. So, like right now, I'm not a big fan of dating apps.
Okay.
But I do like meeting people that I would never meet because I'm from Podunk, USA. I mean,
Gotcha. How about you, April? I know I've heard you're all over it. I've heard you can't get off of it.
That's a
right.
lie. Total lie. No, I think that I'm not for dating apps, because I feel like whenever we were in high school, college, working, adults, that you interact with people and you meet them organically, and you can interact and you can talk with each other, and I don't know, it's just, for me, I'm not going to just connect with someone on a dating app and then just go meet them and have a drink. Like, that's just not me. Like, I need to get to know someone more.
I'm distracted. Is Shannon crocheting or something? What's going on?
I was yeah, kind of. I was.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, April. My bad. I was just
Sorry.
ADD kicked in.
Shannon was the young person with the old soul you were talking about.
It was me. It was me.
A 33-year-old golden girl. There she is.
I own it. It's fine.
All right, continue, April. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, I can't, I'm not going to just start chatting with someone and then, based on a profile and what their bio says and maybe a chat back and forth, decide to go and meet someone to have a drink or dinner or whatever. I need to get to know them as a person. Like, I kind of need more they're a connection of some sort. So for me, dating apps are just not going to work.
Okay. And Kevin.
Damn, she's really working that stuff. Hold on.
That's great.
I mean, it's such a big topic. We could probably spend hours talking about just that. And what I mean by that, well, I've been divorced 3.5 years, and that was kind of my first media to meeting people, right? Because you have your close life and now you're single again. But I was amazed at how little effort people put into their bios and their pictures, and hiding things with filters, and so I don't really look at it much anymore. People put more effort into washing their clothes sometimes, and they think they're just going to throw a picture on there and somebody's going to go, that's the greatest person I've ever seen. I don't get it. But I spent a lot of time building my bio and telling people about me so I could meet like people. And I met some, but I think the guys on there really kill it for all the guys that are really serious about meeting people, because there's a lot of creepos, there's a lot of married guys, there's a lot of people just looking for sex. And so 90% of it, I assume, for women is bullshit. I don't know. So it's hard. It sets a precedent. On the flip side of that, not to go too long, I just changed my theory from online to growing my network of people and doing things I love to do and meeting people that way and having a connection with like things in my life, whether it's outdoors and hiking or sports or whatever. I feel like you should do those things you love to do, and if you meet somebody, you're happy along the way, and if you meet somebody who has commonalities, even better, right? So that's why I do a lot of the things I do within ATB, is because those are the things that I personally like, and I think a lot of other people do, and I think I've met a lot of people in that regard from ATB.
Okay. All right, so
Hey, real quick.
yeah, go ahead.
I know you and I have talked about this before, and Marla just mentioned it, which was kind of interesting. Has anyone done it internationally?
Well, on Tinder, you have to pay for it. That's called Passport. And you can like put yourself anywhere on the globe. I have done it. Yes, I have. But I can't even match somebody in North Carolina, let alone another country. So
Dubai.
Andrea's going for the money.
Yeah.
The money.
So like my 2 cents on all this, me personally, I think the match ratio is a lot better for the women than it is men, of course. All right, duh. I can swipe 100 people that I think are attractive to the right, and I might match 2 or 3. A woman can swipe to the right, any guy she thinks is attractive, and probably match 100% of the time. That's just the way it is. Me personally, I don't read bios until there's a match, because why are you going to read something that you're probably never going to match and have a need to know anyway, you know? So once there's a match, I'll read it, check it out, boom. So I'm not doing a lot of reading.
I didn't believe that, Mike, until you and I made that little friendly wager.
I told you, yeah. Anybody else got anything to add on this? Open floor right now.
I'm just going to add, if you have Snapchat filters and group photos, I'm just like, what do you do? Like, I have no interest in, like, I don't even know what that is. I'm being honest. Like, I want to see what your life's about. I want to see what your body looks like. Not like in that way, but I want to see a full body shot. I want to see something, activity that you love to do. I don't want to see 6 pictures of your dogs and cats. Like, we get it. Everybody has pets. Like, you love your dog. We all do. I get it. That's just my take. Like, show me something on your pictures that gives me an idea of how you spend your life and what you really look like. That's
God, yeah.
So this question's for the ladies. What do you think about a guy, one of his pictures is him holding a fish? Or
And I saw Shannon immediately go down.
I'm sorry, like I just like glaze over and I'm just like, I swipe left as fast as I can. And it's not because I don't like fishing. It's just because it's like I've had too many experiences where I have gone on dates with guys who have fishing photos. And I've just been like, this is not working. It's just been
You were hoping to go
That's not
fishing.
what I wanted. So
What
I'm
if they have
sure
a
you're
picture of a
gonna
killer wasp?
what?
Oh, the murder hornets. Yeah.
Murder hornet, yeah.
I heard a theory that's pretty interesting behind that. Like, a lot of guys don't sit around taking pictures of themselves for dating profiles. So a lot of guys only have pictures of themselves doing stuff like fishing, hunting, riding ATVs, you know, stuff like shooting guns. So, but then a lot of women complain about those pictures.
I'm
So-
okay with everything except fishing. Like all of that sounds good. It's just particularly if you got like 3 fishing photos, I just can't do it.
Look, if you take a picture holding a freaking tuna, I'm right swiping all day. I'm super like, I'll be all over it. All right, let's move along. This is our last subject of the night, and this is a good one too. We've actually talked about this on Hammered once. Dinner on the first date, should the man pay? And this argument has been going back for generations. Who started the last one? Do we leave off with a guy or a girl?
You left off with me.
All right, so April, let's start with you. You got the floor.
So I think that the guy should pay. And the reason why I think the guy should pay is because by the time that I'm going to go on a first date with someone, because like I said, I'm not going to just meet someone and show up at a date. I want to know that person. I want them to know me. So they're going to take the time to take me somewhere that I want to go on a first date. And it's going to be them asking me, and I want to go with them and have them pay for it. That's just, I don't know. I'm old school. I'm old fashioned like that. So I think the guy should pay.
We have one vote for the guy, Miss Fraley. No bet. What say you?
Absolutely, the guy should pay for the date. If he's asking, then there's no reason why he shouldn't be paying. He's wanting to spend time with her. He's wanting to get to know her. He's wanting to find out about her. He's providing the atmosphere, the ambiance. Just take care of the woman. I mean, you're the one requesting her time, her presence. Take care of her. It's not a hard. It's not a hard. I can't think of the word. But yeah.
Don't worry, we can edit that or put.
Sure.
All right, Shannon, what do you think?
Yeah, I think the guy should pay. There have been times when I've gone out, and if I'm offering to pay half, it's because I'm not interested. So.
So that's a red flag that you know this girl is ghosting you if she says.
Or if I offer to, it's like if I offer to pay half and you say okay, then it's, I don't know. I think it's like a subconscious test, and I'm like, I don't know. It just is. I mean, I went through a phase in my life where for like 5 years I was like, no, we should split it and everything's equal, but it's just like the dynamic of man and woman. Like I got to the conclusion where I was like, no, he can pay.
Okay, so that's three for men. Do we have anybody that says Dutch? Come on, Chris. What do you say?
I say you got to be a man and pay for it. I'm sorry. And Shannon, if I ever went out with you and you offered to pay for it, I wouldn't let you pay for it. Just be honest and say I'm not interested. Because you might as well just spit in my face.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Again, I'm a man, dude. You're the man. Be the damn man. You want to take time to get to know her. Great, get to know her. If she don't like you, tough shit. It's life. Okay, I've been there.
Look,
You still get a free meal.
At the end of the day, a man pays because he wants to show the woman that he cares and that money's not more important than her. So that's the bottom line.
I agree.
How about you, Mara?
I agree. Men should pay. And I've done the same thing that Shannon did. I went Dutch because I knew there was nothing going to happen with them.
Yeah, but again, still, even if nothing's going there, just say, hey, man, I appreciate it. It was a nice day. Nice getting to know you. We can drink a beer and have fun together. It's just not there. That's my biggest problem adults dating today. Just be damn honest. You ain't got to play games. Just be honest, communicate, and everybody's good.
What do you think, Leo?
I mean, I always pay. I think one time it turned into a situation where, you know, she wanted to pay. I was like, no, that's cool, I got it. And, you know, most people would say like, you know, she wasn't interested or whatever. But no, it just turned into this tirade of like new school thinking, or I don't know. Like, you know, I'm not gonna shit on the whole feminist movement, but I listened to like a 3-minute tirade about that. And then I was like,
yes.
all right, cool. You can split it.
I've been there too, man. I've been there
Yeah,
too.
and then she calls up like, you know, a day later, like, hey, when you want to go out next? And I was like, never.
So now that's where I'm totally different. If they go on that feminist rant, I will walk the hell out and say, pay for the whole thing, then see you.
Hey, Chris, you can pay for my dates too, by the way. I have no problem with that at all.
All right, Andrea. What do
I'm
you-
totally opposite of everyone. I think it's how you approach dating. I, number one, would never do dinner on a first date. That's the most boring shit ever. You sit across from someone, ask them 21 questions. What about you? What about you? What about you? What about you? No way. No way. You're going to come with me in my natural environment, or I will go with you in your natural environment. And that's how I'm going to get to know you best. Not over dinner, asking each other questions, talking about, you know, superficial topics. That's ridiculous. I would prefer the man to offer to pay. They don't have to. They're a fucking stranger. I don't know them. They don't know me. That's kind of how I approach dating. I'm not going to request or demand a stranger to pay for my meal that we both agreed we're meeting to get to know each other better. That's ridiculous. If you want to pay, sure, that's fine. I'm going to offer to pay for my half.
Okay. And Kevin, I know you hit on it earlier, but go ahead.
You know, I don't do dinner anymore. When I was first divorced, I thought that's, you know, I was kind of old school. That's how dating used to be. But to get back to the earlier point, if you don't have chemistry, there's no point in sitting through, you know, a $200 meal.
So painful.
So I usually just do like appetizers at a bar, or go somewhere fun if they're active. They want to do something like hiking, or you know, just grab a picnic somewhere or whatever. I keep it casual because I don't want somebody to feel like they're locked in for an hour if it's not, you know, it's not a good fit. It's uncomfortable.
Hey, can I add something also? A lot of times women will pay because they don't want to feel like they owe you something after the dinner.
Yeah, but now, what kind of man is that if he thinks the woman owes him something just because he was?
There's a
man.
lot. There's a
They're
lot
out
out there, boo.
Well,
They're
they have
out
what I
there.
call small penis syndrome. Then
It's okay. It doesn't even
What I'll
matter.
say-
They're out there.
What I'll say is the woman can get up and walk away,
They
and
can.
he can still pay for everything, and he can still assume he was going to get something, but he's showing up and getting nothing now because she's gone. So
What if
There's
you're
that.
on? What if you're on that date with that person that catfished you, and you're angry, you're frustrated, you're like, fuck, you know? Do you really want
if
to?
I'm frustrated and angry, I'm gonna go ahead and say, "Bring me the check now, so I'm not spending no damn money on her dinner."
if
Yeah.
somebody catfish me, I'm out. If you are who you say, if you aren't who you say you are, when I walk up, I'm gone. I'm like, well, it was nice meeting you.
See, man, that's where we're opposite because I'm gonna have to take at least 2 shots of liquor to get over the shit.
Nope. I'm not even gonna waste my time. If you're gonna lie to me before I even meet you, you're not worth the effort. And that's all there is to it.
Yep, good point.
So speaks the Zohan.
I look at it like this. I agree with everybody here. I'm going with the majority. Okay, the majority was like the guy pays. I think the guy should pay, whether or not the girl asks him out. If the girl asks you out, then you're lucky as hell anyway. So you should be paying, no questions asked. But yeah, even if you're on a date with someone and you're like, I know I'm never going to see this person again, I'll definitely pay. It's going to hurt. I'm going to be like, fuck, I can't believe it. Oh, it frustrates you sometimes because there was a time I was going on 3 dates a week, you know, and that's expensive. And I was the guy that's always going to dinner and drinks.
Yep.
And you end up spending, like, you buy yourself 3 drinks, you get her like 3 drinks, before you know it, you got to make a budget for dating, and it's like a coffin.
Yeah,
know,
but
and
you know,
so
Yep.
yeah, this
I once had
is
a,
going to help me out a little bit, save some money. How about that?
I once had a friend that made the argument for, the wage gap between men and women. And he was like, well, there should be a wage gap because we're paying for all the dates. If we're paying for all the
Oh,
dates,
shit.
then you should be getting paid more. And I don't know. I just was like, well, I thought it was interesting. An interesting argument.
Yeah.
Almost goes back to the argument. How do you feel if the woman makes more than you? Fucking great. That's awesome.
Yeah, no doubt.
More power to her.
I mean, I maybe one day. I don't know what that feeling's like. I mean, not saying I make a lot, but it would be nice to have somebody that at least made what I made or close to it.
I want to meet one of them damn sugar mamas they talk about.
Where do you get those? Is there an app for that? Because I need it.
They don't
Don't
want
know.
you, boo. They don't want you. Trust me. They don't want you. They're running.
I want to hear your ideal date.
Here's what we'll do to finish off the show, and whoever has like the best argument for this one's going to be the winner of the first show. All right. And you've got, I'm going to put a timer on this. You're going to have 1 minute to articulate your point. Okay? All right.
Always using big words.
No, you know what? I'm going to give you a minute 30 because I'm nice. All right, here we go. What is the single biggest problem with dating in the Triangle area? First, we will go Chris Martin.
Shiny object syndrome. Nobody wants to put in the effort. The first disagreement you have, there's just too many choices. And they run to the shiny object. Nobody's willing to put in the effort. Effort lacks.
Okay. Done?
Yes.
All right. Hook. Andrea.
I will speak for the majority. I don't feel like men are very evolved and they want old school habits, and the new age woman does not want that. Minimal effort, and we're not hearing it. We'll move forward.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think about that one. Let's go with Kevin.
I think people their expectations are so high, and they've got so many criteria, and they're almost like they're looking for their next husband or wife, and I think they just need to settle down, enjoy it, have fun with it, and if it happens, it happens. I just feel like people they put a lot of pressure on themselves. They put a lot of pressure on the other person. And, if you think back before you were married and all that, I don't think I was that way. I think I just rolled with it, had fun, and then met some people that I really connected with, like my ex for the time we were together, or whoever else. So I think it's, in today's world, everything's analyzed and overanalyzed, and I just wish people would have fun and enjoy it.
All right. Shannon.
I think everyone has kind of said the same thing. It's the people are looking for fulfillment in relationships and looking to fill some void or some hole. And so it creates a lot of expectations and a lot of disappointment when they're not meeting those expectations, instead of just enjoying, and so like if you come as a complete person in terms of like loving your life and your friends and like your activities and your hobbies, and it just so happens that you meet someone and you vibe or whatever, and it's, you're able to communicate, and then that brings a lot of joy. But I think the biggest thing is that people are just looking too hard when they need to work on themselves first.
I like that.
2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up.
Leo.
He wins.
I'm gonna have a different take. The question is like, what makes it tough in the triangle? And for me, like, I'm kind of ethnically different than the norm around here, and so I do find a little bit of like a cultural limitation in the triangle. And it's not that bad, but at the same time, I do flock to like a lot of other ethnicities. That kind of turns me on. So sometimes I have to look elsewhere in order to scratch that itch. What everyone said is legit, but that's another challenge, in the triangle. And that becomes a challenge for me because, I am a little different ethnically.
But you play a guitar, Leo. You should
I
get
play a
more
fucking
than one.
bass.
Man.
Like it's the bottom of the barrel.
It don't matter, man. You play an instrument.
I mean, I got some pros and all, but I'm saying,
Stand on the stage.
what do I do? Roll down the street? It's like, hey, baby. Oh, by the
Hey,
way, I'm in a
Leo,
band.
more cowbell, dude.
I mean, if I were you, I would be walking the streets of Raleigh with my guitar, playing it all the time.
Yeah, it'd be
Say-
Nick Choderson.
April
You
Freely.
play an instrument, you're in, dude.
Yeah, that's what they tell you.
Hell, all I can do is sing. You got it made.
Yep, singing is
April.
where it's at.
Did you say me?
I did say you. What do you
Sorry, I
think?
couldn't hear.
I'm gonna have to exercise my mute button.
I think
You're gonna
I'm gonna
choose.
go. I'm gonna kind of go against what everybody else is saying. I think that people often settle. Like I feel like if you're gonna date in this area, like you should be focused on what you're looking for, regardless of what your expectations are. Like if you've got a type in mind, and I don't mean type, but that's the best way I can use to describe it. But if you're looking for someone that you're wanting to spend the rest of your life with, like do that instead of just trying to hop from person to person. Like I feel like everyone here is just dating to date like it's a game.
Mhm.
That's what I see.
Good answer.
I don't see that they're taking it serious.
All right. Matt.
All right, I'm gonna start my own stopwatch so you don't cut me off too soon. We are a
Minute 30.
transplant. We are a transplant society here. Okay, we got people coming from New York, Colorado, California, Florida. We got people coming from Mexico, India, China. We got people coming from all over the world. Right there, it already creates a unique environment. This is a huge IT sector. Typically, a lot of your IT inclined people are going to be introverted. So you're going to have a lot of introverted people here. You're going to have a lot of married couples moving here. That's why this housing market is booming here, because people are buying houses because you got families moving here for great jobs. You don't have people moving here to buy townhouses, to date into an environment. You've got the young kids that are coming here to go to schools. And they're coming out here to party, and they're here to get laid and have a good college experience and live it up. And so then you've got the single people, or even single parents even, who have tight restricted schedules around their kids, who find it hard to date because they can't get a date because the person they want to date has their kids at the same time or at opposing times. So it's a time limited structure because you got so many different variables in this particular triangle area, because you've got so many people moving here. But it's not just single people moving here. So when you are single or become single and you start to look, you're fighting all these odds. And that's what makes it really hard to date in this area.
Good job. And you still got time left over, too.
I went over by 8 seconds. Thanks,
All right, I think we're at Mara. You're last.
I would have to go on what he was saying, is that time. It's hard to date when you're busy with work and then you have your schedules. It's hard to find time to date. And so that's where I'm going to end it with. It's time is my biggest challenge.
Time. Why you punish me? Yes, it is. I need more time. I need 27-hour days. I feel that. All right, Matt. So you fought the odds after getting muted, and it came between you and Shannon with your answers.
Okay.
So, Matt, congratulations. I'm going to give you the winning hammer tonight. Ding.
Woohoo.
You win. First answer of the night is going to go to Andrea Hook. Yes. With her, she said it's men's fault that dating is so bad in Raleigh. I wonder how many men listening to this rolled their eyes in unison.
I have to say that the panel that we have right here, we have a nice evolved men on the panel. The men that I encounter, they just aren't evolved. And it's so tiring. They're boring. They want to put us in what we've already left. We didn't want that life. Why do you want us to go back to the boring life?
They're
No
not
thanks.
self-aware.
Doesn't that have to do with your selection, though? Stop choosing.
Oh, I screen them. I screen them. Trust me, it's part of the screening process. They just move over.
I'm only involved because Matt Novak worked on me like Dr. Frankenstein.
Oh,
Give me so much credit, man.
Do you need a Coghlan's night? You look like you need a Coghlan's night.
Who?
You.
Me?
Yeah, a little grinding, a little 80s music. Whatever.
Coghlan's is every night. Come on now.
All right, so here we have it. Matt Novak, he's our first winner on the ATB Update Up 4. Still trying to come up with a name for this thing. I want to thank everybody, Kevin, Matt, Andrea, Chris, Mara, April, Leo, and Shannon for being our first participants of this. Until next time, we're out.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.